Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. My microphone is being really weird right now. Let me fix this. All right. Today we're going to be doing more PortSwigger Web Security Academy. And I don't have everything fully set up yet, unfortunately. So give me a minute here. I want to be on time. And because LinkedIn thinks to throw a fit if I'm like 1 minute late. So I was like, I'm not gonna be 1 minute late anymore. It doesn't like that. So we're just gonna set up the stream while we're waiting for people to tune in. So that's probably better anyways. That way people don't miss the first half of the stream like they normally do. And if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to fast forward until you start seeing the actual stream. So I'm gonna take a few minutes here. Dun, dun. I gotta turn on my virtual machine. I guess I can show you guys the screen here while I'm setting things up. I'm gonna power on the virtual machine here. And we can get the music rolling too while we're at it. I don't know my own password. I don't know my own password. All right. This is why I wish passwords would just die. You have so many passwords that. Oh, you know what? I'm on the wrong VM. Let's just turn this off. I just realized I'm on the wrong VM. All right, let's. Where's the power button? All the way up here. Power. Shut down. Shut down. I don't know why it's not working. All right, 1 sec here. We're gonna open up another VM here. Here we go. Got a VM dedicated specifically for content creation called the YouTube machine here. So let's go power on this one. I have my YouTube machine. I have my exam machine where I would take certification exams. I have tons of temporary machine VMs, and then I have my work VM as well. So a lot of VMs. What's up, Zavion Moore over in the stream? Thanks for stopping in. And Julio, thank you so much for tuning in. How are you doing today? Hello, is Kali the most commonly used Linux distribution for cybersecurity professionals? I have seen it used a lot. That's a good question. I don't really know the statistics on. I would guess yes to that because a lot of us do use Kali, but a lot of hipsters are going off of Kali nowadays. Like there's a lot of people that don't use Kali. They use like Parrot OS, and there's all kinds of other OS that you can use. It's just a personal preference. I just stick with Kali because it's been doing the job pretty well for me. It's not perfect, but it does the job pretty good. All right, let's go ahead and launch Firefox. Ooh, this was from the last stream. Look at that. The password here. This is one thing I hate about Firefox. It's like, dude, I don't want to see all the 20 tabs I had open from the last stream. I don't want to see that. I don't want to continue from. It's probably a setting in Firefox, but the fact that this is the default behavior and it doesn't ask me, like, hey, do you want to resume your last session? Like, no, I don't. I don't. I want to start fresh. I want to start fresh. With no tabs open, dude. Alright, we gotta log in here. And I do not know my Burp Suite password because Burp Suite's kind of weird. It does not let you set your own password. It gives you a, like, it forces you to use a password manager, and you can't memorize the password because it's so long and complicated. Which in a way is good, but in a way it just kind of, and it kind of, in my opinion, makes people like store passwords in plain text in like a text file because they can't set their own password. Good. I was all over, but I've ultimately decided to become a pen tester. Currently going over the fundamentals. Nice. What made you go pen tester? What was you trying to, like? What was you debating? I'm curious on that one. And what made you go pen tester? Because there's a lot of different. There's a lot of different positions. There's a lot of different jobs in this field, cybersecurity. I mean, I kind of already know why you picked pentester because we're the coolest there is. Like, why wouldn't you want to be a pentester? Well, the other cybersecurity people wish they were as cool as us. Nah, just kidding. I have a lot of respect, and I greatly appreciate all the other people in the cybersecurity field. You don't gotta be a pen tester to be cool. All cyber people are cool. You don't like how you can't see your directory, in, at least in Hack the Box? Yeah, I did use the Hack the Box Parrot OS, the what do they call it? The Pwn box? Is that what they call it? Yeah, I didn't like that either, man, because it didn't have some of the tools that I would normally use. I'm like, what do you mean this tool isn't on here? And I actually gave it a shot, and I'm like, I'm never doing this again. So because it didn't have what I would consider a basic tool. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it made my write up significantly harder. And it was like the one time I was doing a write up, and I'm like, man, I picked a wrong time to switch OSs because it's making my write up way harder than it needs to be. It's on my blog, by the way. It was one of my write ups I did for Hack the Box. I don't have many of them. I have only a few write ups because I record it. It's easier for me to just record it and write it up. All right, we're gonna go to Academy here. What was this stream? Goodness. What's today's stream, guys? What am I doing? What did I say we were doing? I made a whole thumbnail for it, everything. It is server-side request forgery. Got it. Because I was supposed to do this last week. And by the way, for those who were going to tune in last week, we were supposed to do this stream last week, but I didn't because my cat decided to randomly just disappear this time last week, and I had to go look for him. And I couldn't just stream when my cat was out in the wilderness, just doing who knows what, you know what I mean? I was worried, so I had to go look for him. So sorry about that, but I did find the cat. He came back at like 12:30 at night, and I'm getting him back in the house. What did I say? server-side request forgery. Server-side request forgery. Here it is, server-side request forgery. Let's go ahead and get started. Actually, let's go back one more. No, back. I don't know why my disclaimer's not working. Hold on a second. Let me try something here. Why is it not working? Oh, there we go. Now you guys can hear the music. You guys couldn't hear the music before I muted it on accident. The music's working now. All my goal is just to be able to do bug bounty, but they're almost basically the same. Then I got impatient and just wanted to get into the field, so I started learning the blue side of things. I mean, a lot of the skill sets are overlap between bug bounty and like web app pen testing, but there's still a little bit of a difference because there's some things that you would report in a web app test that you wouldn't report in a bug bounty. So there's that. They're a little different, but I mean, yeah, if your ultimate goal is to become bug bounty, then yeah, pen testing is, specifically web app pen testing is where you want to go. I never really had an interest in doing bug bounty. I always thought that I would want to do it in my spare time, but to be honest with you, I would much rather make content in my spare time, and that's what I've been doing. I used to say like, oh yeah, once I get out of my master's degree program, get my master's degree, I'll start doing bug bounties, and I haven't started bug bounties yet, and I've just been doubling down on the content creation. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the last few videos have been a little bit higher quality. I've just been spending more time on it because I've had more time, and I've been really liking what I've been putting out. So I probably won't ever get into bug bounty because I have so much fun with the content creation. Because I would rather be a full-time pen tester than to be a bug bounty hunter, which is what I am, full-time pen tester. There's nothing wrong with being a bug bounty hunter. It's just a personal preference, you know. All right, so we got server-side request forgery, SSRF attacks. This learning path teaches you about server-side request forgery, SSRF. You'll learn about its impact, common techniques used in attacks, and how to defend against them. By the way, since my disclaimer for some reason is broken, I don't know why, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it here. Ethical hacking, illegal hacking are two different things. This is ethical hacking. I've only advocated for ethical hacking. Only hack things that you have permission to attack. If you don't, you might be facing legal consequences. Use what you learned in this stream and this video morally, ethically, and responsibly. And this is for education purposes only. There we go. That's the gist of the disclaimer. What's up, Alexander? How's it going? Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, you didn't miss last week. Thanks for... Yeah, I had to go look for my cat. he ruined the whole stream. He's like, I'm just gonna go explore. Make Dad worry sick. I gotta go look for him. Alright, so what is SSRF? Server-side request forgery is a web security vulnerability that allows an attacker to cause the server-side application to make requests to an unintended location. In a typical SSRF attack, the attacker might cause a server to make a connection to internal-only services within the organization's infrastructure. In other cases, they may be able to force the server to connect to arbitrary external systems. This could leak sensitive data, such as authorization credentials. Dude, we need to get our striped shirts. We're not real hackers until we have striped shirts. Someone commented on LinkedIn. Let me figure out who you are real quick, because on the mixed chat, it just says LinkedIn user. It drives me nuts. So I actually got to go to LinkedIn to see who you are. One sec. Nasser, thanks for stopping in. How you doing today? I also need to there we go. All right. What is the impact of SSRF attacks? A successful SSRF attack can often result in unauthorized actions or access to data within an organization. This can be in the vulnerable application or on the backend systems that the application can communicate with. In some situations, the SSRF vulnerability might allow an attacker to perform arbitrary command execution. An SSRF exploit that causes connections to external third-party systems might result in malicious onward attacks. This can appear to originate from the organization hosting the vulnerable application. Common SSRF attacks. SSRF attacks often exploit trust relationships to escalate an attack from the vulnerable application and perform unauthorized actions. These trust relationships might exist in relation to the server or in relation to other backend systems within the same organization. SSRF attacks against the server. In an SSRF attack against the server, the attacker causes the application to make an HTTP request back to the server that is hosting the application via the loopback network interface. This typically involves supplying a URL with a hostname like 127.0.0.1, a reversed IP address that points to the loopback adapter or localhost, a commonly used name for the same adapter. For example, imagine a shopping application that lets the user view whether an item is in stock in a particular store. To provide the stock information, the application must query various back-end REST APIs. It does this by passing the URL to the relevant back-end API endpoint via a front-end HTTP request. When a user views the stock status for an item, their browser makes the following request. So this is the standard request. This causes the server to make the request to the specified URL, retrieve the stock status, and return this to the user. In this example, an attacker can modify this request to specify a URL local to the server. As you can see, localhost/admin. Oh. The server fetches the contents of the /admin URL and returns it to the user. An attacker can visit the /admin URL, but the administrative functionality is normally only accessible to authenticated users. This means an attacker won't see anything of interest. However, if the request to the /admin URL comes from the local machine, the normal access controls are bypassed. The application grants full access to the administrative functionality because the request appears to originate from a trusted location. What's up, Wi-Fi Addict? How's it going? Welcome back to the stream. It has been a long time. I was actually, every stream, I'm like, where's Wi-Fi Addict? I mean, you can go back and watch them. I pretty much said it every single stream. I'm like, where's Wi-Fi Addict? And everyone's like, we don't know where Wi-Fi Addict is. We sure do miss him. Well, here he is, guys. Welcome, Wi-Fi Addict, back to the stream. However, if the request to /admin, did I already read that? However, the request to /admin URL comes from the local machine, the normal access controls are bypassed. The application grants full access to the administrative functionality because the request appears to originate from a trusted location. So it's an access control violation? Yeah, essentially. I mean, if I had to sum it up in my own words, like very shortly, what SSRF is, it's basically like, imagine an attacker or an unauthenticated person doesn't have access to a resource, but a machine, for example, a server, does have access to that resource. And an attacker will will use the machine that does have access to the resource to access that resource themselves. So basically they're using the server's access to view things that they're not supposed to view. That's like the high level summary of what SSRF is. You're going to see it in action here. If it doesn't make sense to you, we're going to keep reading about it. We're going to actually perform it. So don't you worry. What's up, Mina? Roa, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping in. How you doing today? What's up, Tech with Cody? How's it going? By the way, if you guys see me talking to someone that you don't see in the chat, it's because I stream on 4 different platforms. I'm on Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Kick. So that's why you might see me responding to someone's comment that isn't in your chat. Thanks to the greetings. Been busy with work and prepping for the OSED. Nice. I'm sure that's hard. That's the one 300 level course that I haven't touched yet. I have completed the Pen 300 course twice. Never went in the challenge last because I just didn't feel good enough about it. And then I got like 15 to 20% of the way through OSWE. And it's hard, dude. Those 300 level offset courses are hard. There's no way to get around it. I mean, some people say they're easy, and they must be like hacking gods, because I'm like, bro, that's not easy. I think I accidentally skipped this. Oh, okay, yeah, that seems very similar to what I've heard. A access control violation works. The mechanism, the difference between that and an IDOR, from what I'm to understand. It's not, I guess it's kind of like an IDOR, but like an IDOR is like you're requesting the server's resources on the server, whereas SSRF is you're requesting a second server's resources from the first server, if that makes sense. It's been rough. Just need the OSWF for this. You already passed OSEP. Nice. You're probably gonna be like, OSEP is easy. Everybody who has OSEP, they're like, yeah, OSEP is easy. I'm like, bro, not for me. And I want to get it one day. And it just, I've just been too distracted by content creation, to be honest with you. I've been slacking on my studies. And I mean, I work full time as a pentester, so it's like by the time I get off work, I'm like, bro, I don't like studying right now. I mean, I still study, obviously. I do these Twitch streams, and I do some study. And I've been doing some TCM courses, actually, what I've been doing. Taking a break from OffSec, because OffSec's, let's be honest, it's kind of boring. It's pretty boring. SSRF attacks against the server continued. Why do applications behave in this way? And implicitly, gosh, I can't say it. Implicitly trust requests that come from the local machine. This can arise for various reasons. The access control check might be implemented in a different component that sits in front of the web application server. When a connection is made back to the server, a check is bypassed. For disaster recovery purposes, the application might allow administrative access without logging in to any user coming from the local machine. This provides a way for an administrator to recover the system if they lose their credentials. This assumes that only a fully trusted user would come directly from the server. The administrative interface might listen on a different port number to the main application. It might not be reachable directly by users. These kinds of trust relationships where requests originating from the local host are handled differently than ordinary requests often make SSRF into a critical vulnerability. What's up, Cypher? Welcome back to the stream. How you doing today? Tiger Cody says, completed hack the box CPTS path, now working towards OSCP path, and maybe take OSCP first. We will see. So you completed the CPTS path, now you're doing OSCP path, but you're not taking the CPTS, you're going to take OSCP first. That doesn't seem like a half bad idea. I mean, I hear the CPTS is harder than OSCP, but the OSCP is very difficult because you get only 24 hours, Whereas Hack the Box, you get like 10 days. So I feel like this, I mean, I haven't taken the CPTS. I'd like to one day, but it seems, you know, it might be harder, like from like a technical skill standpoint, but from like a time management standpoint, it seems a little easier. Can I add some input? Sure. IDOR is more of an authorization issue where user A can access resources of user B. Yeah, that's true. Here we go. We're gonna. Oh, I already solved this one, guys. Should I skip it or should I do it? I've already did it. It was on the first Burp Street stream that I did, where I would do all the apprentice level ones, and that's where I did it. I'm gonna skip it. If you guys want to see it, it's on that. It's on my first ever PortSwigger Web Security Academy stream, where it covers the very bare basics. We're gonna get into some more advanced stuff here. SSRF attacks against other backend systems. In some cases, the application server is able to interact with the backend systems that are not directly reachable by users. These systems often have non-routable private IP addresses. The backend systems are normally protected by the network topology, so they often have a weaker security posture. In many cases, internal backend systems contain sensitive functionality that can be accessed without authorization by anyone who is able to interact with the systems. In the previous example, imagine there is an administrator interface at the backend URL https://192.168.0.68. Man, why didn't they just make it 69? Anyways, slash admin. An attacker can submit the following request to exploit the SSRF vulnerability and access the administrator interface. Alright, there we go. That's what the request looks like. To get the administrator interface. We've already solved this one too, dude. Just moving right on along. Once again, that lab solve is in my first PortSwigger Web Security Academy stream, if you want to see how I did that. Circumventing common SSRF defenses. It is common to see applications containing SSRF behavior together with defenses aimed at preventing malicious exploitation. Often these defenses can be circumvented. I've asked before, but need to ask again. You coming to DEF CON? Yeah, so when you asked before, I didn't know, and I was like, I'd like to go, I don't know, but I can confirm that I am absolutely going to DEF CON. I have my ticket, I have my flight, I have my hotel already booked and paid for, so yes, I will be there. It's gonna be my first DEF CON, so I might get lost. I'll also be at Wild West Hacking Fest, confirmed. And I'll be at B-Sides Pittsburgh, B-Sides Columbus, and most likely at B-Sides Cleveland. You doing a meet and greet? Man, I didn't think I had enough fans for all that. No, I wasn't planning on it, but I mean, I'm down to meet anybody. So if anybody's watching, anybody that follows me and wants to hang out, like, just hit me up, make it happen. I mean, that's the primary reason why I'm going, is just to meet people in person and to network with people and just learn from all you guys. SSRF with blacklist based input filters. Yo, what's up, Dustin? How's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. How you been, man? Some applications block input containing host names like 127.0.0.1 and localhost, or sensitive URLs like /admin. In this situation, you can often circumvent the filter using the following techniques. Use an alternate IP representation of 127.0.0.1, such as, you can see it for yourself I'm not gonna just sit here and start saying a bunch of numbers like a computer. 1110001. Dude, I did not know that. I did not know you could just do 127.1 in IPv4. Like, I knew you could do that in IPv6. Like, you can get rid of all the zeros in IPv6. I did not know you can do that in IPv4. So I learned something today. Way to go. That's pretty nice. Register your own domain name that resolves to 127.0.0.1. You can use spoof.burpcollaborator.net for this purpose. Obfuscate block strings using URL encoding, or case variation. Provide a URL that you can control, which redirects to the target URL. Try using different redirect codes as well as different protocols for the server URL. For example, switching from HTTP to HTTPS URL during the redirect has been shown to bypass some anti-SSRF filters. What's up, Termite? Welcome to the stream. How you doing today? I think you should at least share where you'll be at a chill out lounge. Would love to grab a beer. Yeah, I mean, I'll have to figure out like what the best way to do that is. I mean, I figured I would make some posts about it like as I got closer to DEF CON and, you know, meet up with people and stuff. So I think about like, you know, what the best way. I haven't planned my DEF CON trip at all, so that's still in limbo. But the goal is to meet as many people as possible. So, yeah, we can definitely make it happen. Look at this, the first lab I haven't solved yet. Good, studying to be me. He said good, studying to be you. How are you doing? I'm doing great, man. I'm doing fantastic. What are you studying? Bro, I'm studying to be Wi-Fi addict. He's studying to be someone else too. There's always more levels to it. Alright, so SSRF with blacklist based input filter. This lab has a stock check feature which fetches data from the internal system. To solve this lab, change the stock check URL to access the admin interface at localhost/admin and delete the user Carlos. Developer has deployed 2 weak anti-SSRF defenses that you would need to bypass. Neat. Let's go ahead and you know what I need to do is I actually need to load up Burp. We're gonna load up Burp Professional. He said, "Hi, inspired to be like you guys. You've been killing the content. Thanks, man." Yeah, it's been a lot of work, but it's been really fun and rewarding, for sure. A lot more content on the way. I mean, I got a million ideas. Like the ideas come in my head faster than I can make the content, and I've been pretty picky about the quality. So I've been trying to level up the quality a little bit. So it's just coming out a little bit slower, but the end product is a lot better in my opinion. Actually, I'll give you guys a little teaser. I've been working on a video for the Try Hack Me PT1 new certification, junior pen testing certification. Everyone wants to know about it, and I just have a video that's basically just giving my opinions about that certification. And it's not even I have it scripted out like what I want to say. I just haven't recorded myself saying it yet, so that's gonna be coming out. I might start recording that tonight. It'll probably come out in the next couple of days, I would say. Maybe a few days. Speaking of which, you can get the PT1 for free if you have EJPT, if you have what was the other one? PJPT or OSCP. If you have any of those certs, you can get the PT1 for free. Well, they're only giving it to free for like 3,300 people. But I mean, is there really gonna be 3,300 people that already have those certifications that ask for the PT1? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like that 3,300 people, that's a lot. I don't feel like 3,300 people have those certifications. And if there is, then I mean, there might be that many people that have those certifications, but people that's interested in also the PT1, I just feel like it's unlikely. So I feel like if you want it for free, you can pretty much get it. What's up, Salty Bun? Thanks for stopping in. I have found any bugs in a relay application. We're about to find one now. We're getting ready at the moment. We need to set up our scope. So we're going to do target, scope, and before we set up the scope, we need to just launch the lab. I got an idea. Since you're a pentester, you should set up a machine to hack, but also monitor the perspective of SOC analysts who would be seeing this. That's a good idea, actually. But aren't the SOC analysts seems like they're really expensive, right? I mean, I guess there's free versions of them. So I don't know. I guess I know SOC tools are very expensive. I'm sure there's free ones out there, but yeah, I mean, that's a good idea. It seems like a lot of work though, but I'll take that idea and put it in my big idea book and see if I can get to it later. I think the content you produce is really solid. However, just a little feedback, if I may, I would condense the content to shorter length videos. Us ADHD folk have short attention spans. That's exactly what I've been trying to do. I know I've had a few that was like 20-30 minutes long, and I'm like, that's way too long. So now my target video range is in between 10 to 15 minutes. If that's still too long, let me know. But that's my new goal. Now the last one I did about like how to start cybersecurity was like a 19-minute video, longer than I wanted it to be, but I felt like it needed to be that long to like really get the point across. But that was for just like brand new beginners, so there's a lot of to unpack in that one. But yeah, my goal is to make 10 to 15 minute videos. That's overall my goal. I created the longer videos. I'm a short video person myself, but when it comes to me making videos, I'm like, man, I got so many cool things to say. Like, how can I cut this out? And I'm like, I don't want to cut that out. Screw it. We'll just make it long. So I can see both sides of the argument, because like the long videos, like, yeah, I can pack all the information in one video. And if I shorten it up, then like, yeah, I gotta cut out some information that some people would consider vital. So it's like, it's hard to balance it, you know? That's why I give a mix. You know, there's long videos, there's short videos. And that's another reason why I like the podcast too, because the podcast is intended to be long, you know, 30 to 40 minutes long. The smaller videos are hard to manage, especially if there's commercials. Yeah, I do have ads enabled. Well, I guess I could pick where the ads are in those videos, but I just let YouTube pick for me. Like, I don't really fudge with the ads. I just turn on monetization and just let them pick the ad slots for me. Okay, so now we're in. We can do put this in our scope. We're gonna do add. We're gonna include subdomains and hit OK. There we go. I love how intricate the long videos are. Yeah, and there's a couple long videos that I want to remake. Like my how to pass OSCP video. It's like 43 minutes long. And I want to condense that down to like a 10-minute video. So I'm probably going to revisit that just because it's a topic that people really want to know about, but also people don't want to spend 43 minutes to watch all the information. But I mean, that it does give you literally everything you need to know. I left no stone unturned. That was the goal of that one, but now I'm like, some people was giving me some feedback. It's like, oh, it's too long. I'm like, yeah, that's probably true. That's another reason why I started doing the TLDR in my latest videos, where like I'll do like 3 minutes of like, yep, here's a summary of what we're gonna talk about, and then I'll go into like the longer version. So that's another reason why I'm doing that too. So it gives the best of both worlds. If you just want to watch for a few minutes and get the high level summary, you can, and then you know you can keep watching for the in-depth analysis too. What are we doing? We need to launch the proxy. Open browser. There it is. Your OS does not support burp browser running it. Oh, we gotta change the setting. Let's go settings at burp browser. We gotta turn this on, and now it should work. Alright, so access the lab, and we're actually gonna close out of this. There we go. Maybe make a longer video for those interested in a summary, or short for us ADH people who aren't at work. Yeah, like I said, my goal is to make 10 to 15 minute videos, maybe occasionally go closer to 20 for my videos. Rabba Fa Ruby? Rabba Fahed. I cannot say this. Ruby. It's just Ruby. Ruby, thanks for the follow. Or sorry, subscribing on YouTube. I appreciate you. It's just Ruby. Like, it's so hard to say it, so they put Ruby in parentheses. Like, it's just Ruby. Alright, let's do... Alright, we just gotta figure out how to get the logo /admin. Let's see if we can bypass this. Alright, so if we go to our HTTP history, we should be able to see this. So before it was like oh, let's see how I send this to repeater. And then it was like, it would tell us to do HTTPS : / is it just localhost /admin? Yeah. So this would work in the past. Yeah, but it's not gonna work now. And it said you can get rid of the S and maybe do it. It's still blocked. Okay, there was some other ways we can bypass. If we just hit back, it will say like stuff like, let's try this. So instead of localhost, we'll just do this. Hit send. Still blocked. Alright, let's try this. Still blocked. Let's try this. I didn't know you could do that in IPv4.
Access granted.
Stream mod, thanks for following. That still ain't working either. Oh, it's because I'm on. Let's try HTTPS maybe? Send. Let's try this again, but we tried on HTTP. Let's try HTTPS with this just to see if it does anything different. Nope, blocked still. Let's grab this one now. Still blocked. Let's try this. All caps localhost. Might have to use burp collaborator here. What's up, stream mod? How's it going? Thanks for stopping in the stream. I honestly can't stand web testing. I really need to go back to PortSwigger. Always looks good, but just can't bring myself to do it. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely different than network testing. It's two different skill sets, you know. I mean, there's some overlap, but for the most part, it's very much different. So, you know, if you're a if you're a network testing person and you try to get the web for the first time, like it's a whole new skill set. So I could definitely understand that. And there's times where I don't really like web testing either. It just depends on the situation, I guess. Like there's some categories that I really like, and there's some categories I don't like. Some exploits I like, some I don't. It just depends on the subject matter. I think SSRF is pretty fun. This is register your own domain name that resolves to 127.0.0.1. You can use spoof burpcloud.net for this purpose. See, I don't really know how to do that. Can I just paste that there and does it work? Probably not. Yeah, probably not. Okay. I'm gonna go back and just see the solution to this other lab. Just make sure that it's in the stock API parameter. Yes, change the stock API parameter. Got it. Okay. At least I got that part right. So that is what I'm on, stock API. Okay. So what can I do? The developer has deployed 2 weak anti-SSRF defenses that you will need to bypass. See if I can just Google like SSRF filter bypass. Oh my, this has helped me out. Let's see if ChatGPT can help us out here. So I just said, what other SSR bypasses can I try? Here's what I already tried. I just pasted everything that I've tried already. And we're just gonna paste these until one of these works. Let's try this. They're all blocked. Let's try this. Also blocked. Localhost with a trailing dot. That's an interesting one. Nope. Let's try that maybe. Invalid external stock check your illegal character in authority and index. That's a different error. So Noah C, welcome to the stream. How you doing today? To face the Memorial Day weekend over and the grind starts out again. Yeah. Welcome back to the grind. Dude, I live for the grind, bro. Like I did not enjoy my Memorial Day weekend. Like I do not. It's gonna sound weird. This blows a lot of people's minds. I don't like long weekends, dude. I don't. I do not. Too many days off just drive me nuts. Like I was excited about it, but then like when it actually happened, I'm like, bruh. Matter of fact, I didn't even. I mean, I did work a little bit on Monday actually because my pen test that wrapped up on Friday. I didn't finish the whole report. and I had two options. I can, log back in and do it Monday morning, or I could do it over the weekend. And guess what I did? I typed, my report on Monday, a day that I was supposed to have off. I could have done it on Monday, and I did finish it up on my. I did do the bulk of it on Monday, and then I finished it up today. But yeah. What was I doing? Double URL encoding. What if we tried that? What if we tried file? Nope. Bro, what is... I don't know. Like, I did all the bypasses it told me to do. Like, every one here. Well, I guess not this one, because it doesn't tell me how to do that. And then I tried some even more on top of that. Like, I don't know. I'm just getting a solution here. What do you mean? That's what I tried. Change URL. 127.1. Did I not try that? Oh. It's telling me to change the A to encode the A. Oh, I did try this. I didn't even think about that. It's like obfuscate. So this shouldn't work. Okay, but if I obfuscate the A, it should work. Like that. Look at that. That actually worked. What's up, Cyber Mage? Welcome to the stream. Cool name, by the way. Is there a reason you're doing burp when you have OSWA? Yeah, there's multiple reasons. I would say the number one reason would be because I want to stream some web app stuff, and I can't stream OSWA labs. And a lot of the Hack the Box Academy labs you can't stream. And I do stream. It basically comes down to me. I want to stream something, and this is free, and this introduces a lot of people to web app testing. So that's number one, is because I want to stream something and I want it to learn and teach with people. Learn with people and teach people like web app testing. And then the next reason is just keep my skills sharp, right? Just because I have a certification doesn't mean, like, if I don't use the skills, then I want to lose the skills, right? I personally believe, like, if you don't hack frequently, if you don't do labs frequently, then the skills rust. And it's just to keep the rust off my skills. So that's the reason number two. That's a good question. But yeah, just because you have a certification doesn't mean you know everything about everything, right? Plus, PortSwigger has a different way of teaching things, so I'm going to pick up some new techniques along the way that I can use in the real world. That's another reason too. Pick up new techniques that the OSWA might not have covered. And as you can see, I still struggle sometimes, so I do learn. OSWA isn't the end all be all. While it is an in-depth certification, it is extremely difficult. There are things that it doesn't cover. What's up, beginner security? What a name, by the way. Hello, fellow cybersecurity friend, partner, whatever you call it. Did you just say... I used to call everybody cyber friends. You can call me whatever you want. You know, Hacker Bud, cyber friends, partners, pals. Nice to see someone trying to get into the space here on Kick. I mean, I stream on Kick all the time. I've been streaming. I mean, geez. I stream on Kick. For those who just tuned in, I stream on Kick, YouTube, Twitch, and LinkedIn all at the same time. I've been on Kick for a minute. And Kick is probably the least watched channel. Where I put the same stream on all these different platforms, and there doesn't seem like a lot of viewers on Kick. But I do stream on Kick because what I like about Kick that the other, well, I guess LinkedIn wouldn't have it and YouTube wouldn't have it, but Twitch doesn't have a dedicated cybersecurity category, and Kick does, and I really like that about Kick. I see. I thought you found the burp cert more valuable. I already decided to pursue SWA. The burp cert, I don't know if I consider it more valuable. If I thought it was more valuable, I probably would have went for it over OSWA. I thought OSWA was valuable. That's why I went for it as a first web app cert. But I guess another reason why I went for it is because I had OffSec Unlimited, so I already had it paid for. That's another reason why, and I already had OSCP, and it felt familiar to me enough, even though it's a lot different than OSCP. There's really no, I mean, I heard the burp cert's great. I heard it's really hard. I heard it's, you know, it might even be harder than OSWA. I don't know. I haven't done it, but people do say it's challenging, but I don't know. I really don't know what's more valuable. To me, OSWA seemed more valuable, so that's why I went for it, but other people might say the other thing. Do people use hack-the-box content to learn other OffSec certs besides OSCP? Yeah, I mean, for sure. I failed OSWA 3 times, and I started doing the burp suite, not the burp suite, the hack-the-box certified bug bounty hunter. I started going through that learning path to like pick up some skills, and when my subscription ended, I was forced to go somewhere else because I didn't want to spend another 400. I think it was like $400 to get a subscription again. Something like that. So I decided to go with TCM Security and get the PWPA certification, which was like $200. It's actually $250, but since I'm a military veteran, I got it for $200. And that's why I went with TCM Security over Hack the Box. But you can absolutely do that. Yeah, like you can use a CBBH learning path to pass OSWA, for example. What's up, Gerardo Medina? Thanks for stopping in. Hello, I'm new to cybersecurity, ready to learn. Do you do tutorials on YouTube? Yeah, I do. There are some. I try to put out a hands-on tutorial, like an actual hands-on tutorial, once a month is my kind of what I do. A lot of the stuff I do is like career strategy, and I just like weigh my opinion on certifications and other things I do on YouTube. Is I have my podcast where I bring in other experts in the field and I interview them. All kinds of content. I try to cover everything, really. Alright, so what do I need to do? I need to... Can I render this? Okay, I should be able to... I can delete the Carlos user. Can I just copy this and then go there? No, that's not gonna work. Let's do this. Let's go back to proxy. We're gonna turn intercept on. Turn intercept on, and then we're going to forward that. And then we're going to hit check stock. And then we're going to paste this here. we are going to forward this and go back, forward. Wonder if that works. Product ID equals 1. Invalid product ID. What? Does that work? Let's check the stock. I don't know how to get control. I got to what I want to do. So we found the vulnerability, but now I don't know. Let's turn this back on. Hit check stock. There we go. This is what I wanted to see. I don't know why I didn't do that the first time. Okay. Paste that there and hit forward. Come back over here. Could not fetch stock levels. Huh. Well, can I go here? Let's turn intercept off. Let's try that one more time. Intercept on. Let's try this again. Hit this. Hit forward. Turn intercept off. Same thing. I got the CBH, but my job won't let me do web pen testing unless I get burp or OSWA. The OSWA is what I'm after. That's so strange. I would imagine the CBH is just as good, if not better than OSWA and burp. I mean, I hear the CPTS is better than OSCP, so you'd think that the CBH is quality, which you're probably going to be able to go through OSWA relatively easily. If not, let me know. I mean, I'm curious to know like what you think is harder, CBH or OSWA. You know, it might be the opposite. People say that CPTS is harder than OSCP, but OSWA might be harder than CBBH. But I feel like most people don't have both OSWA and CBBH because there's not a lot of people. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of people that focus on the web app stuff, and the people who do focus on the web app stuff tend to go bug bounty, you know, instead of like full-time pen testing. Well, good luck on your OSWA, man. You got this. You got the CBBH, so you should. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be easy for you, but it should be pretty straightforward for you. I liked OSWA. I really did. It was very hard, and despite failing 3 times, I learned so much. But obviously not enough because I'm struggling on this lab right now. This is why you gotta continuously train even after you get certified. I don't understand why this isn't working. Alright, let's try. See if I got a repeater. Like, this is what we want, but I can't click this because this is just a render here. So The hardest part is getting a pen testing job. That's the facts. There's not that many jobs out there, despite what the like all the boot camps and the schools and all the training companies say. There's millions and millions of unfilled jobs. Like, no, there's not. There's not. There's maybe a couple dozen remote jobs. Are you gonna take PT1 from Try Hack Me? Whew, brother, why you gotta ask that question? You're banned. No, I was kidding. No, I'm not gonna take it. I'm not gonna take it because for the sheer fact that it's a 48-hour exam, dude, and that's 2 days of me taking a certification that I do not need. Even if I can get that for free, it's still 2 days of my life that could be used somewhere else. It doesn't do me any good for my resume because I already have, I already have higher level certifications. I already have 2 junior pen testing certifications. I already have 2 upper level, mid level certifications. We're talking about OSWA, I have OSCP as well. And it's like a step backwards for me. And that's why I'm not going to take it. I thought about taking it just so I can make content about it. But at the end of the day, it's still a step back for me. And it's just 2 days of me. I don't want to say it's a waste of time, but it's almost a waste of time. Like, it's not a complete waste, but there's a better use for my time other work. Like, because there's some high level certifications I want to get. I'm trying to get the TCM security IoT testing certification. And that's also a 2-day cert. And that's going to be really hard for me to do. And I need to really lock in on that one. Same thing for PMPT. I'm trying to get that one. Trying to lock in on that one. And I just feel like I'm never going to get the certifications that actually move my resume. Like bolster my resume. If I do certifications that don't move the needle. Now I did get the Try Hack Me SAL1. Which, that's a junior level SOC certification. And I have 16 other certifications, but I got that one because I didn't have a hands-on blue teaming certification. All my blue team certifications are multiple choice, and I wanted to prove to myself that I could actually go in and do like a junior level SOC role, and because it was free, but more importantly, it was only 5 hours, right? I got it for free. It's a cert that actually made sense for me. And it only took me 5 hours to do. Now, granted, I did fail the first time, but even after I failed one time, it was 10 hours. I only spent 10 hours on that certification. PT1, 48 hours. That's a lot of time, So that's why I'm not doing it. Access granted. KP Bull 10 Gaming, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate you. I heard it's laughable to have PT1 in your resume, at least what I heard. I mean, it just came out. I mean, who told you that? It just came out. I don't think it's laughable at all. I have a video. I have it planned, guys. I'm going to have a full video on this. But the gist of it is I think it's a decent cert to go after. But I don't think any of those junior level certifications, when I say junior level certifications, I mean like PT1, EJPT, PJPT, or the PWPA, all those certifications are junior level certifications. And in my opinion, like, it's okay, it's nice to have it on your resume, but really the value in those certifications is to prepare you for a higher level certification, a mid-level certification. And by mid-level certification, I mean OSCP, OSWA, CBBH, CPTS, PMPT, PWPT. So those mid-level certifications, I think that's what you kind of need to land your first pen testing job. Because I'm going to say this in my video, and the reality is, you just said earlier, Cybermate, you said the hardest part is getting your first pen testing job. And that's true, because there's no junior pen testing jobs out there. These employers and hiring managers, they want you to have mid-level skills. They're hiring mid-level and senior level pen testers. They're not hiring people at the junior level right now. So while the PT1 or any other junior pen testing cert for that matter, it's going to build your skills, 100% going to build your skills up, but you should look at it as a stepping stone to get a higher level certification rather than like, oh, this certification is going to get me hired. And that's one thing, that's one big gripe I have about the PT1 where like, they literally advertise it. The cert that gets you hired, bro, that cert's not going to get you hired. And I want to make a 15-minute video on this, and I have it scripted out. That's why I already know what to say when you bring it up. Because I'm going to just repeat what I just said in that video. That video is going to be a little more structured, and it's going to have, you know, less uhs and you knows in there. But yeah, I mean, what I said is basically what I'm going to say in that video. So you got the sneak peek, guys. I say go for it, absolutely, if you don't have a junior pen testing cert. But if you already have a junior pen testing cert or a higher level certification, which in my case I do, it makes sense to pass up on it. And that's why I'm passing up on it. This is why I said, why did you ask that question, Cody? I literally have a video prepared. I just got to hit record and record that and edit it and upload it. So stay tuned for that video in the coming days. You get the sneak peek. I'm gonna have some icing on the cake for that video that it just says, but that's the gist of what I'm gonna say in that video. I completely agree with you what you said so much. Mid-level skill set are needed. It's not only needed, it's just what employers want. Like they're not bringing in junior people. They want senior and mid-level people. And what I'm gonna say in the video, once again, spoiler alert, and you guys get, this is the advantage of coming to my streams, because I'll just tell you what's coming up in my content, and you guys get the raw, unfiltered, unedited. This is unedited, right? The video I'm going to say is going to be edited, and it's going to be a little more polished, but yeah, like, you need to brand yourself as a mid-level professional if you want to break in as a pen tester, even if you've never had a pen testing job before. But in order for you to do that, you need to have mid-level skills, right? You don't want to brand yourself as a mid-level pen tester and not have the skills, because that's not honest, and you don't want to lie about your skill set. So the only way for you to possibly brand yourself as a mid-level pen tester is to get mid-level testing skills, and that is going above and beyond the junior level certifications. That's just my opinion. I mean, from my experience, even with OSCP, dude, and the EJPT, I still face rejection. I had an employer say straight to my face, "You don't have enough years of experience. You need 2 years of experience," and that's crazy. Because I had 7 years of cyber defense operation experience. It wasn't pen testing experience, but 6 years of experience in cyber defense operations. And they're like, "You need 2 years of experience." Like, I have experience, it's just not in pen testing, you know? It's rough out there. What's your opinion on cloud pen testing and Pwn Labs? I haven't touched Pwn Labs. I haven't looked into it. And cloud pen testing, to be honest with you, I don't think cloud pen testing is, I mean, it does help you if you want to go above and beyond and like try, and it's something I need to go into. I need to like explore that area more for myself. But the reality of the situation is, it's like the cloud is just another computer. Like, I've pen tested several networks in the cloud, and when you're inside of it, it looks and acts like an on-prem network more times than not. So while focus on your cloud pen testing skills can help you, that's like next level. Like once you hit the mid-level, then you can start thinking about that kind of thing, if that makes sense. I don't really focus on it, you know, before you get your first pen testing job. But if you're already in your first pen testing job, it's absolutely something that you could consider if you want to elevate yourself into, you know, a senior pen tester, that's like on my bucket list of things to knock out for sure. But I haven't tried Pwn Labs. And the reason why I haven't tried putting live is because I haven't done everything on Hack the Box and Try Hack Me and PortSwigger Web Security Academy, and like I already have 3 platforms that I like, and I'm like, I am a firm believer is like you shouldn't be hopping from a bunch of platforms. Maybe have 2 or 3, that's fine, but I think anything more than 3 platforms that you're doing like on a consistent, regular basis is far too much, in my opinion. I do a little bit of Try Hack Me, a little bit of Hack the Box, and a little bit of PortSwigger Web Security Academy, and I do my certification state. So really, I'm doing like 4 platforms at once. But I didn't even touch the PortSwigger Web Security Academy until I got OSWA. I didn't even touch it until I got OSWA. Because laser focus really moves the needle, in my opinion. And speaking of laser focus, I gotta focus on this lab that I keep stalling on. I was ranting about the PT1. Not ranting, it's an extremely relevant conversation because that cert just came out. And like I said, I'm working on a video for that. I don't understand why it's not forwarding me where I want to go. So if I send this to repeater and then I hit send. Oh, it's giving me illegal characters now. Why is this not working all of a sudden? Oh, I see now. I gotta delete that. Let's try that. There we go. Oh, is that why it wasn't working? Let's go back. Oh, that's why. I think I put 2 stock APIs in there. That's probably why. Let's go ahead and forward all. Forward all. There we go. Boom. So now I can do delete Carlos. That's what I was doing wrong. Let's turn this up. Let's just forward all again. Have interface only. Did I delete the user? I don't know. Let's hit refresh. Did I solve the lab? Somehow I did not solve the lab, even though I deleted the Carlos user. I'm doing a cloud pentesting bootcamp and a CTRO at the same time. The grind is insane in this field. The grind is insane in this field, and it burns you out fast. And it literally makes me feel like a lazy piece of crap anytime I try to do anything other than grind. You know what I mean? But the truth is, there's a lot to learn. And if you don't learn, then you're going to be out of a job. And that's fact. That's like fact. You know, if you're not keeping your skills sharp and you're not keeping up with the trends, you're not learning the latest exploits, then you're not a good cybersecurity professional, because you have to be on the bleeding edge to be a good cybersecurity professional. What's up, Digital Liquid? Thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you here. Have you entered any bug bounty programs? If so, is it different than web app pen testing? I have not, but I can tell you right now, it is different than web app pen testing, because in web app pen testing, we report vulnerabilities that don't necessarily pay for a bug bounty, if that makes sense. Now we're still looking for, you know, the high level stuff that you would report. If you reported a bug bounty, you would obviously report it on pen testing, like a web app pen test for a full-time pen testing position. But there's, in that full-time web app pen testing position, you're going to report things that wouldn't be accepted as a bug in a bug bounty program, if that makes sense. So it's a little bit different. And you know, you get a time box like, hey, you're going to be on this web app for 1, 2, or 3 weeks. Bug bounties, like, you can spend as much time or as little time as you want. There's no one really there to like guide you. You're kind of, I mean, it's like freelancing, right? You can just hop in and out as much as you want. Whereas pen testing is like client pays you to pen test this app for 3 weeks. You're pen testing that app for 3 weeks, or 2 weeks, or 1 week, whatever the engagement is. And you can't hop to another project, you know, because you're stuck. Like, you're gonna sit there and bash your head against the wall because that's what they're paying you to do. There's pros and cons of both. So I think I solved it, but then I messed up somewhere. So let me just go back. Somehow I messed up. I don't know how. I broke the whole website. Let's copy this. I see delete username Carlos. Let's try that. Oh. I guess intercept's still on. Is this on? It's still not solved. Let's go back to repeater here. Let's try this. Does this work? No. Let's go back. Let's change the A to that. Let's try that. Okay. Dude, I think I broke the lab. That's my specialty, by the way. Breaking the lab. Nothing's loading. Like, look. It's just frozen. I got it. I hit delete Carlos, but then something happened. I should have turned intercept off before I did that. I think the lab broke. I always break the lab, and this is my biggest gripe when it comes to PortSwigger Web Security Academy. If you break the lab, you can't revert it. You can't relaunch it. Okay, it's fixed now, but all right, let's do this. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna hit check stock and intercept this. We want to drop this. We want to forward just this. And then let's go back to my repeater. We want to send this. Copy this. And we want to send this. Forward that. Is one of the differences between bug bounty and pen test the fact that in a pen test you add the risk register even though it's a low threat? Yeah, you're gonna put a bunch of low stuff, and it's pretty common to have a bunch of low risk things on a web app pen test report that just simply wouldn't be accepted as a bounty in a bug bounty program. Like another, like username enumeration is a good example. Like username enumeration, like if you get that, you're definitely gonna put that on a pen test report. But in a bug bounty, those are typically out of scope, and that's another thing that's different between bug bounty and um, web apps. Bug bounties, these are done in like production systems sometimes, and like they rate limit you a lot, and then there's a lot of rules for the rules of engagement. In my experience, there's really not a lot of limitations when it comes to web app pen testing, right? They're just like, hey, here's a scope, here's the URL. Like, as long as you're doing stuff to this URL, like, you're good. Like, obviously, you don't want to shut them down. Like, you don't want to, like, DOS them. But generally speaking, like, they allow automated tools. But some bug bounty programs don't allow you to use automated tools. And you have to do everything manually. But I've never been a bug bounty hunter, so I don't know everything about everything there is to bug bounty, so keep that in mind. And I would say the reason why I know that is because I went through the CCM Security certified, not certified, but the practical bug bounty course, and they cover a lot of that stuff. And if you want to be a bug bounty hunter, I would recommend that course. As far as I know, it's the only course that really dives into bug bounty a lot. Dude, everything I do is broken. Everything. Can I go back? Opinion on pen testing being taken by AI? Not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. AI can't even tell me like what I would consider like basic level things. That's easily looked up on the internet. Like, for example, I asked it a question about a video game and it was just completely wrong. I'm like, how do you not know this? It's like, this is kind of well documented online. Like, why did you give me the wrong information here? So AI, it feeds me the wrong information on simple questions, and cybersecurity is not simple. So that's why I don't think it will ever. Well, I don't want to say it will never be automated, but it will. It'll be a long, long ways before we get there. Do I have? Oh, no wonder why it's not working. I thought I turned proxy, intercept off. Let's try this again. This is really buggy. I feel like I know exactly what I need to do, but it's not allowing me to do it. See, I hit forward all, but it's still in. It's not forwarding. That's what's driving me nuts. Forward all. Is it gonna work? There we go. Okay, so now I should be able to turn intercept off. And I should be able to delete the Carlos user. Admin interface only. If logged in as administrator. I think what I need to do is Let's try this. Does this still work? It does. Let's just do slash. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to add this to the end of this and see if that works. Did that work? So refresh. It did work. Okay, good. Perfect. I feel like everything is broken in my mantra, Kyser. What do you mean everything's broken in your mantra? Nothing works when you need it to the most, but the learning experience is the key. That's true. Facts. Nice seeing this community. I'm new. I want to go to college to learn cybersecurity. Do you recommend me going to college? Or question mark. Welcome to the stream. How do you say your name? Durex PR? I'm probably not saying that right, but welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you here. I do have a video on YouTube, youtube.com/KaiserClark, that answers your exact question in depth. I mean, I think it's a 13-minute video that's going to answer that question. I'm not going to spend 13 minutes on it, but in general, I recommend going to college if and only if you can comfortably afford it without going into debt. If you fall into that category, then absolutely go to college. It does help you. But in my opinion, it's not worth the money. So if you have to spend the money and it's going to stretch you thin, then don't do it. But like I said, if you can comfortably afford, like if you can pay for college as you go, you know, then go for it. If you got scholarships, go for it. Me, I was in the military. That's how I was able to get college. I got my degree while I was into Twitch assistance, and then I got my master's degree using the GI Bill. And I wouldn't have got a college degree if I didn't get it for free. For free as in I didn't pay anything. I didn't actually get it for free because I basically signed my life away to get that, but that was the price I had to pay for it. It didn't cost me dollars. But it was, yeah, if it wasn't for that, I don't think I'd have a degree. I'd have 2 degrees right now. I'm just getting out of the army right now. This is my last week. Dude, then you should be going. Every military member should have a college degree. And people are like, but college isn't for me. Bro, I hated high school. I didn't say this in my college video, and I wish I did, but I hated high school. I had a 2.0 GPA in high school. I didn't like high school. College is completely different because you get more freedom and flexibility. And if you do online school, you get to set your own hours, and you don't have to show up to class, and you're not treated like a kid. Okay. So that's why I struggle with high school, is because the babysitting drove me nuts. You know, like, can I go to the restroom? Like, that just drives me nuts. You know what I mean? I need a hall pass to go to the bathroom. We're gonna watch movies in class today. Like, yeah, I didn't like high school. And I didn't think I'd like college, but I actually kind of liked college because the subject. Now, don't get me wrong, I didn't really like learning like the subjects that you had to learn, like the science and the math and all that. But once I got into cybersecurity courses, it was so fun. Or I don't want to say it's fun. It was still a chore. It was a lot more fun in high school. But yeah, back to what I was saying. Like, yeah, military members should almost always go to college because they pay you. They pay you, right? Not only is college not cost you a penny, but they give you money to go to college, right? If you go to if you're a full-time college student and you do online schooling, it's like $1,200 a month. And then if you do at least one class in person, it doubles to like $2,400 a month. And I don't know about you, but that's a pretty nice side hustle if you ask me, right? You're not gonna get that DoorDash, and you're not gonna get that Ubering around, you know what I mean? Like so that's another reason why I was like, dude, you're gonna give me $1,200 a month to learn stuff in my house. And matter of fact, like I want to go back to school just to get that $1,200 a month again. Just go get another degree, because why not? Because I have unused GI Bill still. This is your last week. Nice. Congratulations, by the way. How long was you in for? And what was you doing in the Army, by the way? Did you take any veteran programs for cybersecurity? No. I did this. I did Skill Bridge. I did a Skill Bridge internship on my way out. But other than that, no. But my job was cyber, though. That's the difference. So a lot of people's jobs in the military aren't cyber. My job in the military was cyber. My FSC in the Air Force was cyber defense operations. So I already had a lot of experience coming out, which set me up really well. He said, go to college and get paid to learn on God. LMAO. Dude, it's easy. Dude, if you think about, like, college is not that fun, but then when you think about, like, how much you get paid per hour, like, if you break it down, you're like, dude, I couldn't make this much money doing DoorDash. Or, like, maybe you could, but, like, you gotta go out in public. It's dangerous out there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can do your college from the comfort of your house and online school. And if you go to in person, you know, that's a little bit more effort, but you double. It's a little bit more effort, but you double the money, you know? 3.5 years infantry? Nice. Well, thanks for your service and good luck getting out. And if you have any questions with military transitions, I'm here to help you. But yeah, man, your situation, yeah, you should be going to college for cybersecurity. You get paid to learn, and that college degree is going to help you. But I would say when you are going to college, the college degree isn't enough by itself. Like, you should also be getting certifications on top of the college. And then if you can swing it, try to get like once you start getting some experience or some labs under your belt, like try to get like an entry level help desk job or something. Which you should be able to do if you get like a security plus, because you have a security clearance, so you should be able to land like a help desk, like government job, right? I know, I mean, I don't know about the Army, but the Air Force, like they're basically switching away from like the help desk people. Like, instead of having it like the Air Force people, they're outsourcing it to contractors. And there's a lot of contractors that just do the help desk from home, and all they have is security plus. So I would look into that with your security clearance. It's a company that we had called, it's called ITAS. There's probably some other ones, but it's ITAS, EITAAS, I think. Look into them. They're always looking for people, because they have a hard time finding people, because not that many people have security plus and not that many people have security clearances. So if you have both of those, and you can get an entry level, you can get one of those help desk jobs that pay probably decently well. I don't know, because I never worked as a civilian in the government, but I'd imagine they make pretty good money. They probably make more money than what I was making as E4, E5, you know. All right, continue on here. SSRF with whitelist-based input filters. Some applications only allow inputs that match a whitelist of permitted values. The filter may look for a match at the beginning of the input or contained within it. You may be able to bypass this filter by exploiting inconsistencies in URL parsing. The URL specification contains a number of features that are likely to be overlooked when URLs implement ad hoc parsing and validation using this method. You can embed credentials in a URL before the host name using the @ character. For example, https:// expected host fake password @ evil host. You can use the, are we calling this the hashtag character, the pound symbol, or like the number symbol? I don't know. I don't know what the official, I think the pound is the official name for it. You use the pound character to indicate a URL fragment. For example, https:// evil host hashtag expected host. Yeah, no problem, man. Good luck. And yeah, military transitions are rough, so Godspeed. Godspeed, man. Getting out of the military is like pulling teeth. At least, I mean, everyone I know, it's rough. Like, they're like, you gotta have this paper, and you can only get this paper on this side of the base, at this building, at this time, on third Tuesday of the month. And like, bro, and Carlos has to be there. If Carlos is on your lunch break, he ain't gonna be there to sign your paper. Come back next month. You're like, bro, what are you talking about? The worst. Well, my brother, it's been a format as usual. Unfortunately, I have to work in the morning. Much love, man. Thanks again for the great content. Have a good night, bro. Wish I had more time. No problem. Glad to provide the content and glad to spend time with you and glad to hang out with you. It's been fun. These streams are very fun. We don't make as much progress in the labs as I'd like, because I like talking to you guys. As you guys know, when I see stuff in the chat and you guys are talking about stuff that's worth talking about, I love it. Yeah. Yeah, processing's the worst, man. For some reason I feel like the army's worse too, you know what I mean? Yo, thanks for following. I appreciate you, man. I feel like the army's probably harder than the Air Force getting out. They probably expect you to do your job still. In the Air Force, it's generally acceptable to like not show up to work to do your out processing. Like, it's like, unless you have toxic leadership, which it does happen. But for the most part, I would say in my experience, like, I didn't really run across a lot of toxic leadership. And generally speaking, like, while you're doing that stuff, if you have an appointment, they're like, yeah. But my ex-girlfriend was in the Army. She's an Army veteran, and you know, she said, yeah, you got it way easier than I did. And I'm like, I believe that. You can leverage the DNS naming hierarchy to place required input into a fully qualified DNS name that you control. For example, https:// expected host .evil host. You can URL encode characters to confuse the URL parsing code. This is particularly useful if the code that implements the filter handles URL encoded characters differently than the code that performs the backend HTTP request. You can also try double encoded characters. Some servers recursively URL decode the input they receive, which can lead to further discrepancies. You can use combination of these techniques together. We got a lab? No. Yo, what's up, Tool? How's it going, man? How's it? Long time no talk, man. How you been? Chaos X Tool, man. Still rocking the Chaos. My gamer tag on Xbox is still Chaos too. It's I logged into Forza Horizon 5 because Forza Horizon 5 is on PlayStation, and it made me log into my Xbox account on a PlayStation game. Crazy. I mean, obviously the game is made by Xbox Studios, Microsoft Studios, but they released Forza Horizon 5 on PlayStation, and then when I bought it on PlayStation, I logged in, and then it's like, it's like log in your Xbox account. I'm like, no way! I just logged in an Xbox account on a PlayStation game. It is sometimes possible to bypass filter-based defenses by exploiting an open redirection vulnerability. In the previous example, imagine the user submitted URL is strictly validated to prevent malicious exploitation to the SSRF behavior. However, the application whose URL are allowed contains an open redirection vulnerability, provided the API used to make the backend HTTP request supports redirections. You can construct a URL that satisfies the filter and results in a redirected request to the desired backend target. For example, the application contains an open redirection vulnerability to which the following URL returns a redirection to. You can leverage the open redirect vulnerability to bypass the URL filter and exploit the SSRF vulnerability as follows. This SSRF exploit works because the application first validates that the supplied stock API URL isn't an allowed domain, which it is. The application then requests the supplied URL, which triggers the open redirection. It follows the redirection and makes a request to the internal URL and the attacker's choosing. Here we go. Lab SSRF with filter bypass via open redirection vulnerability. This lab has a stock check feature which fetches data from an internal system. To solve this lab, change the stock check URL to access the admin interface and delete the Carlos user. The stock checker has been restricted to only access the local application, so you need to find an open redirect affecting the application first. I shouldn't be on. Let's go access the lab. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. My cat was I don't know, crying about something. I had to make sure he was okay. Sometimes he gets trapped in a closet. Like I open a closet to clean, and he would jump in there. I thought he was trapped in a closet, but he wasn't. All right, so what am I doing? We gotta solve this lab. All right, let's do. Close out of this. Close out of this. Close out of this. Proxy. Start intercept on. Hit check stock. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're going to apply. We gotta find an open. We gotta find an open redirect. How do we find the open redirect? Yo. We got Monster in here. What's up, man? We're in the stream. He's like getting more and more in here. Thanks for stopping in. I'm just trying to hack. I'm trying to figure out how to do this open redirect here. I don't know if this is gonna work. This shop right here. This might work. Let's just try it. Let's just see if that works. I don't think this is gonna work, but we'll see. Actually, let's send this to repeater. We can try it right here. See what happens. Invalid external stock check URL, invalid URL. Okay. So I figured. What if we tried this? 127.0.0.1. Send that. Dang. What advice would you give to fellow content creators besides keep posting videos? That's a good question. That's the main thing, is just keep posting. Try to get better every time you post. Right? Just try to improve 1% better. We try to get 1% better every time. And then the next piece of advice I would say is, you know, put yourself in the viewer's shoes, I guess. Like try to deliver like value to the viewer as much as you can, right? Just don't like haphazardly like start rambling on a video and then post it. Like you actually got to put effort into it, you know what I mean? Because the competition is steep for low value content, but if you make high value content, then you start separating yourself from the pack. So that'd be my advice. Next thing I would do would be, yeah, just stay consistent. Don't skip days. You will get burned out eventually, but when that happens, you just gotta keep posting videos. See you later, Scott. Thanks for stopping in. Good night. Take care. Let's go back. I don't. Visit the stock page. Try tampering. That it isn't possible to make the server issue or request directly to a different host. Click next product and observe that the path parameter is placed into the location header of the redirection response, resulting in open redirection. Oh, I didn't do that. Oh, okay. Well, let's how many videos in did you get burned out? Probably a couple. It's hard to make high value content, man. Because I don't really like editing them, to be honest with you. This is why I like streaming a lot, because I don't have to edit anything. I don't know. I mean, I got burned out. I was making like a try hack me video every single day. I think after like 16 days, I was like, I gotta stop. I can't continue anymore. And then but now I think once I started, like once I, because I was doing those every day, and then I took a long break. We're talking like a year without uploading any videos, because I had to focus on getting my certification and training and stuff. But then once I got OCP, I started doing more live streams, and I started making a video every month. That was easy to do. But then once I switched to doing a video every single week and doing a podcast episode every single week and doing a live stream every single week, that's when it started burning me out. Because it's a lot. I mean, I make as much content as like a full-time content creator, but I'm not a full-time content creator. I'm a full-time pen tester who makes a lot of content. I don't want to send this. Can I go back? Let's turn intercept off. Go back over here. And we're going to do turn intercept back on. And then we're going to hit next product. There we go. And then it says to so we can do this. So it's telling us, so let's send us the repeater here. And then we're going to send, or close out of this tab. We want to send that. Let's see what happens here. Render. I guess it worked. We can amend it. So if we send this, this should work. Send that. Did that work? I don't know. Say refresh. Just solve the lab. It did not solve the lab. Oh, follow redirection. You're right. Follow redirection. Did that work? Still didn't work. It's acting like it's intercepted, but it's not. Huh. Wonder why. Why that's the case. Failed to connect. It redirected there. Did that work? No. Alright, let's go back then. So it's telling me to turn intercept on again. Next product. Okay. create a URL that exploits the open redirection vulnerability and redirects to the admin interface, and feed this into the stock API parameter in the stock checker. Oh. Create a URL. What does it mean by create URL? It's telling me to. I think I just need to make a server here. Do like a Python 3-m http.server. No, that's not gonna work. I think I use Collaborator for this. I don't know what they're trying to say. Why is this 360p? That's all my VM can handle, I guess. I think I understand. Okay. Let's go back to proxy here. Turn intercept off. Let's come back over here. Turn intercept back on. Check stock. Basically, I just need to put I think if I just put this http colon https colon http colon slash localhost slash let's try that maybe. Send a repeater. See you, Cyber Mage. I was Mag. Mage. Thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you here. Catch you on the next one. Take care. I'm going to
Hi.
let's see here.
Everyone, welcome back to sure that it wants to visit. So in this case, it's product/stock/station. So if we follow redirection, notice over here, it got you to the page product where the product ID is equal to 2. So this is redirecting you to a different location in the application. Let's see ability in the /admin. I'm going to show it in this lab over here. Instead, I'm going to assume that we know the path and we enter it over here. So what's going to happen over here is that the application is first going to val/product/next product, and then the application URL of the attacker's choosing. And so this way you bypass the defenses that were put for SSRF and exploited the vulnerability. So if we hit send, we should see the admin page and we see a missing parameter path. So what we're going to do is URL encode this. So Control U to URL encode it, hit send. And here we go. We get a 200 response. If we render, we're at
Alright, so I think, so here's what I was doing wrong. I was doing this. So if I URL encode this, Control U and send, I think that worked. That's all I did wrong. I put a localhost in there when I didn't need the localhost, and I didn't URL encode it. But I think it's a solve. Is that the solve? Let's refresh the page. I think it's solved. It is. We did it. We killed Carlos. Again. Blind SSRF vulnerabilities. Oh my gosh, blind. Blind SSRF vulnerabilities occur if you can cause an application to issue a backend HTTP request to a supply URL, but the response from the backend request is not returned to the application's front end response. Blind SSRF is hard to exploit, but sometimes lead to full remote code execution on the server or other backend components. What is the impact of blind SSRF vulnerabilities? The impact of blind SSRF vulnerabilities is often lower than fully informed SSRF vulnerabilities because of their one-way nature. They cannot be trivially exploited to retrieve sensitive data from the backend systems, although in some situations they can be exploited to achieve full remote code execution. How to find and exploit blind SSRF vulnerabilities. The most reliable way to detect blind SSRF vulnerabilities is using out-of-band OAST techniques. This involves attempting to trigger an HTTP request to an external system that you can control and monitoring for network interactions with that system. The easiest and most effective way to use out-of-band techniques is using Burp Collaborator. You can use Burp Collaborator to generate unique domain names, send these in payloads to the application, and monitor for any interaction with those domains. If an incoming HTTP request is observed coming from the application, then it's vulnerable to SSRF. Note, it is common when testing for SSRF vulnerabilities to observe a DNS lookup for the supplied collaborator domain, but no subsequent HTTP requests. This typically happens because the application attempted to make an HTTP request to the domain, which caused the initial DNS lookup, but the actual HTTP request was blocked by network level filtering. It is relatively common for infrastructure to allow outbound DNS traffic since this is needed for so many purposes, but block HTTP connections to unexpected destinations. How to find and exploit blind SSRF vulnerabilities continued. Simply identifying a blind SSRF vulnerability can trigger out-of-band HTTP requests. Doesn't in itself provide a route to exploitability. Since you cannot view the response from the backend response, the behavior can be used to explore content on systems that the application server can reach. However, oh gosh, however, it can still be leveraged to probe for other vulnerabilities on the server itself or on other backend systems. You can blindly sweep the internal IP address space, sending payloads designed to detect well-known vulnerabilities. If those payloads also employ blind out-of-band techniques, then you might uncover a critical vulnerability on an unpatched internal server. Another avenue for exploiting blind SSRF vulnerabilities is to induce the application to connect to a system under the attacker's control and return malicious responses to the HTTP client that makes the connection. If you can exploit a serious client-side vulnerability in a server's HTTP implementation, you might be able to achieve remote code execution within the application infrastructure. Blind SSRF with out-of-band detection. This site uses analytic software which fetches the URL specified in the refer header when a product page is loaded. To solve this lab, use a functionality to cause an HTTP request in the public burp collaborator server. Note, to prevent the Academy platform from being used to attack third parties, our firewall blocks interaction between the labs and arbitrary external systems. To solve this lab, you must use burp collaborator's default public server. Okay. Oops, I did not mean to spawn the lab there. I wanted it to be... I should honestly just close out Firefox at this point. It's confusing me having two browsers. Man, why is this not loading? Kevin Sadir, holding the stream, thanks for stopping in. Hi, if this video is recorded, can I have a copy, please? Can I be reviewed later? Thank you. Yeah, so all my live streams are on YouTube, so you can watch all my past broadcasts on YouTube. Just go to the live category when you go to youtube.com/KyserClark. Cybersecurity? No. Yeah, the URL is just /KyserClark. It doesn't have to be Kyser Clark Cybersecurity. So, yeah, youtube.com/KyserClark. And, yeah, click live, and then you can see all the past live streams, and you can watch the reruns there. Bro, why is this broken? Every time I try to load up a lab, I swear. Oh my goodness, why is this broken? So refresh on this, I guess. Access the lab. Thank you so much for helping everyone and spending time with us. God bless you. Yeah, no problem. My pleasure. Glad to help. Glad to be here. I have a lot of fun hanging out with you guys, so the pleasure's all mine. Now, I wish this lab would load. No. It's not loading. Thought my cat wanted a pet, but yelling. Special guest. Look at him. Look at him. He's a big boy. He's a big, fluffy baby. Alright, buddy. See you later. He said kitty. That's Pikel. His brother is Michael. Michael and Pikel. Dude, my lab is broken. I really don't like how this is not loading up. This is driving me absolutely bonkers. I think I messed up by launching the lab. Say access the lab one more time. I guess we can read the rest of it while we're waiting for that to load, I guess. Finding hidden attack surface in SSRF vulnerabilities. Are your cats out of cigarettes? What does that even mean? They don't smoke, bro. Many server-side requests for vulnerabilities are easy to find because the application's normal traffic involves request parameters containing full URLs. Other examples of SSRF are harder to locate. I found my cat. You late join. I said that at the beginning of the stream. I did find my cat. I have both of them. I'm looking at them right now. That wasn't the one that was missing. The one I picked up just a little bit ago, that one was the one that never went missing. But his brother did. But I found them. Come here, they want to know if you came back. Come here. For one, this is the one that went missing that last week. He's here, and he's doing well. This one's Michael. They're twin brothers. They were worried about you, buddy. They were worried about you. This is my supervisor. You guys can't see him, but he's gonna lay on my lap. Oh, never mind. He just jumped off. A lot of times in my videos, like, he's just laying on my lap. You guys can't see him. Sometimes in my videos, he'll pop his head up, or one of them will pop their head up. He's on my lap a lot. Partial URLs in requests. Sometimes an application places only a host name or part of the URL path into request parameters. The value submitted is then incorporated server-side into a full URL that is requested. If the value is readily recognized as a host name or URL path, potential attack surface might be obvious. However, exploitability as full SSRF might be limited because you do not control the entire URL that gets requested. URLs within data formats. Some applications transmit data in formats with a specification that allows the inclusion of URLs that might get requested by the data parser for the format. An obvious example of this is the XML data format, which has been widely used in web applications to transmit structured data from the client to the server. When an application accepts data in XML format and parses it, it might be vulnerable to XXE injection. It might also be vulnerable to SSRF via XXE. We'll cover this in more detail when we look at XXE injection vulnerabilities. We did that on Try Hack Me, actually. I don't think we did XXE on the PortSwigger yet. Thank you, Kevin. They are pretty cute. They distract me a lot. But healthy, good distractions though. SSRF via the referrer header. Some applications use server-side analytics software to track visitors. That's grammar, I think. This software often logs the referrer headers in requests so it can track incoming links. Often the analytics software visits any third-party URL that appear in the referrer header. This is typically done to analyze the contents of referring sites, including the anchor text that is used in the incoming links. As a result, the referrer header is often a useful attack surface for SSRF vulnerabilities. This last broken. If I hit continue, it's gonna say, well done, you completed it. But we didn't complete. We gotta complete this lab. So we're gonna head back till we get to the lab again. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna access the last lab that we solved. See what happens here. Dude, I really don't like the PortSwigger Web Security Academy because of this. They can't even build a lab, bro. And there's no way to revert it. That's what I don't like about this platform. If it messes up building the lab, then it's messed up until you, for an unknown amount of duration, right? Like, it's been 10 minutes and I just can't. So I don't really know what we can do. Hit the X on this. Maybe if I hit I don't know, man. Can I log out? Let's try logging out and then logging back in. Let's see if that does the trick. What's up, the champion? Thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you here. This is a mega miss for PortSwigger Web Security Academy. Like, the labs just break, and there's no way to unbreak them. You know what I mean? I think the reason why it broke is because I accessed the lab and I closed it while it was getting built, but even then, it just won't let me. It won't let me continue on. Like we're at a standstill. I can't even attempt this. Hey, I just started doing try hack me. The information is great, but I'm having a hard time remembering all that information. Any advice? Yeah, just take notes. Like, you should be writing detailed notes on what you're doing. The more the better. And when you write it, that helps you remember it. And if you do forget, then you can always go back to your notes. So just take good notes. And if you forget some, I mean, that's kind of normal in my opinion. As long as you understand the high level stuff. Because the fundamentals are going to keep popping up. So forgetting a little bit is okay. You can keep moving on, but generally speaking, if you just take good notes, then you'll be all right. And yeah, no one remembers everything about everything anyways. Like, I had to constantly look up commands all the time. Like, my notes are filled with commands. There's a lot of things I don't memorize. You don't have to memorize it because you can just look it up. So know that as well. No cybersecurity professional has everything memorized. It's impossible to memorize everything. If you just know the big idea, and then if you got to Google like the specific syntax for a command, that's totally okay. Burn out here, but I did make passing score CBBH. Nice, congratulations, SD. Thanks for stopping in, by the way. Congratulations, that's a big deal. And yeah, burned out. I'm chuckling because I know what you mean. It happens, 100%. So, when I get burned out, I just take a little bit of a rest and get back to it when I can, as soon as I can, until I get burned out again. And it's just a cycle. Well, guys, I don't know if I'm gonna. I mean, let's just close the browser, maybe. Oh, is this why? Oh my gosh, I have intercept on. No wonder why it's not working. I'm sitting here. I'm dumb. I don't remember ever turning that on. Well, I do remember turning it on. I don't know. That was okay. Yeah, but the rest of the websites were working though. That's what I don't understand. So maybe it wasn't the intercept. It might have been. Let's try this again. I need to solve 36 more lives to become an apprentice. Almost there. Not even at the apprentice level yet. Whack. Yeah, it let me log out and log back in and all this stuff. Is this loading? Oh, finally. Okay, we're good. Alright, so let's just solve this last lab and we'll be done here. Visit the product, intercept the request, and then send it to repeater. Alright. Visit a product, intercept the request, and then send it to repeater. So let's go ahead, turn intercept on. Visit a product, right click, send to repeater. Okay, that's done. Go to the repeater tab, select the referrer header, right click and select insert. Select the referrer header, right click and select insert collaborator payload to replace the original domain with a burp collaborator. Generate domain, send the request. All right, so we'll go back to here to repeater. Where's the refer at? Refer. Right click. Insert collaborator payload. Is that what it said? Insert collaborator payload. Yes. Right click. Insert collaborator payload. And then send a request. Send. Okay. Go to the collaborator tab and click poll now. If you don't see any interactions listed, wait a few seconds and try again, since the server side command is executed asynchronously. Go to the collaborator, hit poll now. Okay. If you don't see any interactions, wait a few seconds and try again. You should see some DNS and HTTP interactions that were initiated by the application as a result of the payload. Solid Lab uses functionality to cause an HTTP request to the public collaborator server. I just gotta get some traffic to my collaborator. That's all I gotta do. Oh, you know what? I think I messed up. Let's do insert collaborator payload. It's not giving me any interactions. Wow. It's still not. Oh, there we go. The B4 worked. Wonder which one that one was. Is that the newest one? Yeah, it worked after I did HTTPS and HTTP, it seems like. Okay. Maybe that's not what it was, but it worked. So I should hit refresh and it should work. I should have a solve lab here. Yep. Done. And we already read all this, so we are done. This took a little longer than I wanted it to take, but we got it done. Well done. You've completed server-side request forwarder SSRF attacks. we're making progress. We got more learning paths to do, but we are making progress, dude. Nice. Well, guys, it's getting late. I gotta get off here. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thanks for watching. If you have any last minute questions, feel free to drop them, and we can have a little discussion. But yeah, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Hit subscribe. Hit the like button if you're on YouTube. If you are on Twitch or Kick, hit the follow button. More cybersecurity content on the way. If you're on LinkedIn, if you haven't connected with me, feel free to connect with me or hit the follow button. But I don't think you can find this stream on LinkedIn if you're not following me. But if you're not following me, then hit the follow button. Stay tuned for more content, guys. Got more videos, live streams, and podcast episodes on the way. Next stream will be this time next week. I think we're going to be doing Try Hack Me. So we got more Try Hack Me the web pentester path. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, it's going to be very similar to this, where I just go through the path, the room, and do them and chat with you guys while I'm doing it. And we'll learn more about hacking as we go. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. You guys are awesome. And hope I see you in the next stream or the next video. Until then.